Good evening, everyone. I am Angela GEGG, and you're watching Angie live at 5 in Dubai. We're broadcasting from the VUUZLE TV studios right here in Media City, Dubai. Like the rest of the world, we've hit a global reset, and I'm featuring different guests and segments which can help put a smile on your face, escape the day, and assist with the things that can make your life better, easier, less complex, and, say it with me, all around awesome. And what's absolutely awesome is my giveaways. Guys, log into my website, angelagegg.com now and enter to win. The contests run for 2 months, so you've got time to win. We've got gift certificates from the Sol Sante, a vegan cafe, House of Pizza, Miyabi Sushi, and Bento. We've got a hamper from the Bowl One, a staycation at the Emirates Park Resort and Zoo, a 5-night stay at a 5-star hotel in the Caribbean at Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts, Dominica, Grenada, and St. Lucia, courtesy of Pass a Pro. We've got Botox and fillers, courtesy of the Med Arts Clinic. And I have 5 of those bling bling masks I've been boasting from the Bling Queen herself. So go, log on now and enter to win. But for now, let's get back to the topic of the day. Have you guys ever had one of those days when you woke up and just felt like you've been hit by a ton of bricks? You feel tired, lethargic, down. You're not motivated to see anyone or do anything. Well, if so, you're not alone. It happens to the best of us. In fact, it's actually how I felt this morning. But I had to pull myself together and move my little bum. I put on some dance hall music, took a cold shower, and put some pep in my step so that I could be here for all of you today. But my method doesn't necessarily work for everyone. Sometimes we need an extra push. Sometimes we get into a slump, and oftentimes for no reason at all. And if this is something and you know someone that's going through this, then I have a few tips that you guys can try. First, set a goal, find inspiration, and get excited. This sounds obvious, but most people don't think about it. It's just a matter of carrying that excitement and energy forward and keeping it going. Build anticipation and post your goal on a public forum. In essence, when you do that, you almost have to commit to that goal. And don't forget to give your progress updates to everyone every week or so. Think about it daily. If you think about that goal daily, it's much more likely to become true. Squash negative thoughts and replace them with positive ones. Spend a few days becoming aware of every negative thought that you have and replace them with a positive one. Whether that's a chocolate cake, a Fendi handbag, a rainbow in the sky, a bouquet of flowers, or even your favorite pet or favorite human, just give it a try. But if none of this works, call an expert, motivators, mentors, and mindset coaches. These are professionals that do this for a living. They're trained to get your mind right. And that's why today I'm joined in the studios with Mohamed Fouda. He's more commonly known as Mo for motivation. He's a knowledge seeker who's trying to change 1 million lives. He's volunteered with children in Sir Lanka in the area of sports, and rightly so, considering that he played for the team that broke the Guinness Book of Records for the longest soccer game in history back in 2010. He says he's transformed his lifestyle in only a few years. He's now a serial entrepreneur, a mentor, and an author of a series of ebooks called Confessions of an Entrepreneur. More with me and Mo for Motivation when we get back. And we are back. I'm joined in the studios with Mo for Motivation.
Thank you.
Mo, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me here.
Of course. So Mohamed, guys, for those of you watching, he's a motivator, a mindset coach. He's a published author. He's got so many things going on, sports, business. He's an entrepreneur. So I'm so happy to have you as my guest today.
Amazing.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. I love the setup. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, thank you.
It's amazing to be here.
Thank you very much. So, Of course, as you know, right now, we are going through a crazy time in our lives, so it's important for me to have people like you on the show to give back to our audience watching, not just here in Dubai, but everywhere, because we do have a worldwide audience that's locked in. And I, of course, before we get into that positive aspect, I want to learn about you. I want our audience to know, who is this guy sitting here with Angie today? Let's take it back. You were actually born here in the UAE in Abu Dhabi.
I was born in Abu Dhabi, yeah.
Interesting.
My parents moved to UAE back in the day. My father moved in like late 70s. So I was born in Abu Dhabi before the boom of UAE. UAE was really growing at the moment. But if you see pictures, you would understand the growth, the rapid growth of Dubai and Abu Dhabi over the last 20, 30 years. Talking about that, it's very interesting for me living in a city where the city age is close to my age, because I'm telling people stuff like that overseas and they don't really catch it. I tell them, when you live in a city, it has a history. That's beautiful, because I love architecture and I love history and I love art as a piece of my interest. But having the chance to live in a city where the city is only like 20 or 30 years old, and it didn't really exist, and you grow with that city, or when you grow with that country or that community, and you've seen everything changing and evolving super quick, it has its own different effect and experience. So like everything, when you go to New York City or you go to any big city, Tokyo, and you feel like you get in a machine where the movement and the growth is super quick, and you feel the dynamic. Like if anyone go to Manhattan, for example, he would just you feel the energy. You feel like so living in UAE, that was the same experience, but over time, over a stretch time, which is like you go in if you leave the city for like 5 years, you come back and it has a different building and a different future, a new landmark. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I think it has a big effect on me and maybe the community of the youth who grew up in the early 80s, 90s in UAE. They would all have their own stories to tell you about how things were. I have my own story. One of the things that I find fascinating is I used to play in the street when I was a kid.
Right. I was just going to say, having that, being from a small town, probably is one of the reasons you were so into sports. Because you really had to occupy yourself, so sports was a big outlet for you.
Maybe, but I think that was in my blood.
You were just born and raised with it.
I was always like into sport. Even if my folks wouldn't be as engaged, I would be playing double the time. So, but anyway, so what I was saying, that I used to play in parking lots when I was like 5 or 6. It was super empty.
Soccer. Or just all
soccer,
sports, all
just like
sports.
like just kids in the street. And then when I was like 20 years later, I couldn't park my car in the same parking lot. I would always recall to that experience, like getting into it.
Yeah.
It's just
true.
Too many. The population like doubled up like 3-4 times. Like you go to any other country in the world, and I don't think there is any other country in the world who jumped from like 2 million to like 10 million.
True.
Like it just keeps doubling up.
True. And plus, not just that, the architecture, the expansion of all the buildings and everything grew, and tallest building in the world, biggest, we have everything here. So that must be an amazing experience.
Tell me about it. Coming from an architectural background too, I'm so into UAE and Dubai and Abu Dhabi and the movement here. It was just absolutely fantastic.
Cool.
It was amazing growing up here.
Yeah. So tell me something. You were really big into sports, and that pretty much gave you a discipline above all. Tell me a little bit about that, because I know you're very disciplined. Even now, you put that into what you're doing with your career, with your businesses, with your books, with your public speaking. That discipline, you learned that from a young age with sports, and it came along. Plus, they got you a Guinness World Book of Records.
that was an amazing experience. We'll talk about that, but I mean, sport always play a big role in any athlete life, and it's that sense of competition, that sense of you being able to have a team. Or like there's too many good things about sport. Being able to work in a team, be able to attend practice in a certain time every week. Even if you come late, if you come a little, if you do whatever, it's just different. It just puts you into a mechanism of a mindset that I have to do this. This is what I have to do. It just, they call it auto-suggestion when it comes to mental health and when it comes to like motivation and building your mindset. The auto-suggestion is something that you keep saying to your brain and you keep doing physically, and you just like started doing it like an autopilot. So.
Right.
Having this from a younger age always makes you a very competitive personality, and it changed a lot.
Very good. I saw that you actually went to Sri Lanka and you were volunteering to teach kids about sports, and you got really involved with that. That's so nice.
Yeah.
How was that experience, like to give back and to be able to, it's a great, like what you're saying, it is such a good impact for kids to have, do sports, because it gets you, like you said, the teamwork and stuff. But how is it for you to be all these kids looking up at you and, you know, just...
It's amazing.
Must be, yeah.
Sri Lanka was a good experience. We were actually out there playing a game of American football. So American football is a very new sport in UAE.
Is that the one with the Super Bowl and the aggressive one?
That's the one,
Okay.
the aggressive one. I like how a lot of people put it with being an aggressive sport or whatever, but I really love it. It has a lot. It has a lot to do with adrenaline and just like the pressure and competition, and it's just like boxing. There is a lot of good things. It's not just an aggressive sport.
Okay.
I'm like defending it now because I play it.
I love it.
But we were playing in the first teams in UAE, and that was a very interesting story too by itself, because the way that I got into the team was just like out of a sudden. And this is something that I learned to know about myself, that I would always like to take risks, and I always like to do things when it comes, because opportunities don't really come your way on repeat.
Right.
If you get
Well,
what I'm
they have
saying.
for you.
Not necessarily, maybe because I take most of them.
Okay.
I'm sure the average person gets the same amount of opportunities, and people like decide to not to take it and not to hunt it down, and that makes some people like look like they're doing better, but they just like took advantage of situations when it happened. That's the only difference. So a guy came across us. We were in Dubai having a late dinner, and he was like, there is a coach coming from the States. We're trying to do something with Dubai Football Academy. Started like a very, very first football team in UAE. You guys want to come to practice at 8 o'clock in the morning? And that was 2 a.m., like 6 hours before the practice.
Oh, wow.
So we were like, okay, cool. We took his number, me and my friend, we went back home. And I remember I set up my alarm and I got excited. I was like, let's go check it out. We had like double shot coffee in the morning, and we went, and we ended up playing as a team, taking two championships in a row. So we went to Sri Lanka to play football with in a charity game, and a part of it, they said they want to bring a lot of kids if you want to volunteer and do it. So I volunteered and I coached 100 kids that day.
Wow, that's
play.
a lot of kids.
A lot of kids.
What were the ages of these kids? Because now,
like,
people at home can relate, because everybody's homeschooling. You had 100 kids in one day. What
100
ages?
kids in one day.
What
it was
ages?
like 5. So the way we did it, it was like 5 to 7 years old kids.
Wow.
Young kids with a lot of passion, a lot of power, and we did it in groups, and we used to take the groups and just like rotate it. So I was coaching a position, another guy was coaching another position. I take like 20 by 20 by 20, like every 5 to 10 minutes, give them some drills, and it was amazing.
And being out on the field with them running around like
it was amazing to see the kids excited.
That's nice.
I just feel like we all have to give back, because giving back is I'm a big believer that giving back is a part of the natural cycle. And I would always give an example of, like, when you have your cup and it's full of water, for example, you can't pour any more until you give back. It's just like it creates this mechanism of being able to grow again when you give back. Something magical about it. Just
totally
believe me.
agree. Let's take it back to 2008. I know that was when the crisis had actually hit us here. You had actually picked up and decided, let's try something new. I'm going to relocate. And you actually decided to move to San Francisco.
True.
So let's take it back to that time and tell me a little bit about that experience. So you were here, and we're all familiar with what happened in 2008. and then you decided, hey, I'm going to make a move and try something else. How was that experience?
That experience was very interesting for me. 2008, the crisis actually happened to the States where I relocated to. You see, like this is the trick about it. So it happened 2008. It reflected on the world in 2009 or 2010.
Okay.
When it was really bad here, because they called it the crisis of real estate.
Right.
So
But that's where you really got into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
In San Francisco, that's where you really developed the skills for becoming an entrepreneur and all of this.
San Francisco is just San Francisco. It's like something about that city you cannot tell until you experience it yourself.
Yeah.
The city is very natural. All the tech savvy are there, but in the same time, the city is very authentic.
Okay. Did you get on that train, the San Francisco?
Of course. I used to live.
The one you see on the TV?
It's called Powell Street. I used to live right there. I used to see it like every day. So I wanted to relocate. And actually, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I can just have a visual of you hanging on the San Francisco tree.
It's you're talking about the cable
train.
The
cable car. You got
everyone
on those?
have to go there and take a picture of that. Yeah, I'm not sure if I had my own picture on it because I used to live right next to it.
Of course, you live there, you don't do it naturally.
It's like how if you live here next to Burj Khalifa, you don't take a picture.
Absolutely agree. But still, it's still cool. Like when you hear San Francisco, that's what you think of. You know?
Okay.
At least with me, I was singing that song all day today.
The cable.
I swear. I love it.
That's interesting.
Very cool.
So San Francisco was a different city. It was a different chapter of my life.
I can see when I'm talking about it, you're smiling. Your face changes. You're really.
I go back every month.
Yeah.
Every summer. Sorry.
Oh, wow, okay.
I go back every summer.
Okay.
So I have friends there, and I love the city. And when I was there, a lot of big companies now started at that time. So the city was evolving super fast. I remember being in the street, seeing the cab drivers like lining up, protesting and angry and talking about Uber, right?
Oh,
and
wow.
I didn't really understand what Uber
yeah,
was.
that came out in 2008. That's
and
right.
I didn't really know how big it would be, you know. So that city was a big reflection on a lot what's going on the world, what's going on in there first, and if you were like anywhere else in this in the world, like in 2012, 2013, you wouldn't really know about Uber and about all these other startups that were coming from there. So my entrepreneurship drive, I would say, it came from there, but it really started in UAE again.
Okay.
Establishing the first business. I was here in a 1 month trip that turned into a few years.
Oh wow!
You know, one of them saying that when you come here and you have your flight booked back in like 2 weeks, but you meet somebody and you talk about a business, and then it sounded like it was interesting. The city, the country was picking up, was recovering, in like after the 2 years of crisis, and the government was like pushing back money in the system. Everybody was covering up. So I would say what we're going on through right now is something similar.
I was going to say, how do you feel? A lot of people are comparing right now with the COVID-19 situation. Everybody says we have a crisis coming. I mean, I have personally not said that, but I mean, a lot of people are saying that. How do you feel? Do you feel it's the same sentiment? People have that same energy, that same mindset? You think that little negativity, you know? Obviously, one of the reasons I invited you on is because you're a positive guy, motivational speaker. You got to be positive. But I also want you to be honest. Do you feel that right now it's kind of the same?
I would be super honest about it.
Yeah.
In 2008, 2009, I was a fresh graduate. I was in architecture. Being an architect in UAE was actually like one of the best things to be at. Like real estate.
But do you feel the same sentiment now? Do you feel that people?
I'm coming to it now. Okay. So in 2008, like UAE was a growing city, it was a growing country when it comes to real estate and construction. So when it got that big hit in 2008, the best thing that people used to look at as architects and construction was the weakest. That was the business that actually got wiped up.
Right.
So if that didn't happen at that time, I wouldn't think of maybe entrepreneurship. If that was a paved road and it was like just opportunity of being a very good architect in UAE, it would take me a few years and maybe delay the process of my entrepreneurship life.
I see.
So now a lot of people got hit with that, but for me, I see it as a repeated. I'm being very honest about it.
Of course.
I see it as I see the story getting repeated again, like maybe in a different character,
right.
because we have a pandemic and we have things going on that I'm sure is very serious, and I hope everyone stays safe, stay home, but. It's just an opportunity. It's just like opportunities comes out of this. Remember all this big, like I was just talking about Uber now. Uber came after the crisis. Everything happened, came after the crisis. So maybe you can get a piece of that.
Yeah.
It's right now, because there is a saying says when you hit the rock bottom, you can the only way to go is up.
Is up, yeah. In fact, you've written a couple of books. I brought some of your book covers. I'd like to take a look at it for our audience at home. He's written 2 very inspirational ebooks, guys. You guys can check it out. Take a look at these book covers. Even the design of the book covers. For Confessions of an Entrepreneur, Volume 1, The Blueprint. Tell me a little bit that. That's promoting how you start a business. So right now actually is a great time for people to check your book out.
Sure.
And I brought some inserts from that as well. I love what's your why? I love that.
Yeah.
What's your why? I never heard that before. I was reading your material. What's your why? Tell me a little bit about what's your why. And of course, I have you there doing a public speaking at a conference, brand value. So, I mean, obviously, you've done quite a few amazing things. And number 2, we have the underdog. I really like that as well. How you can,
I love underdogs.
Yeah, and then, of course, some excerpts from that as well. About the underdog. So that's really cool. Mo, we are actually going to have to cut to a short commercial break shortly.
Sure.
And I want to hear more about these books. I want to hear more about your ideas. I want to hear more about your mindset when we get back. Guys at home, it's time for me to take a commercial break. I'll be back in just a few with more and me and Mo for Motivate. And we are back. I'm Angela GEGG. You guys are watching Angie live at 5 in Dubai on VUUZLE TV. I'm joined in the studios with a motivational speaker, a mindset coach, and he's also a mentor and the author of a series of ebooks. You guys, just before we went to commercial break, I showed a couple of these books on the screen. Mo for Motivate. Thanks for joining me. Welcome back, guys. This is Mo for Motivate in the house. Am I the only one who says Mo for Motivate?
That's the first time I hear it, but
I knew it.
But it's good. It's special.
It's catchy, right?
It's very catchy.
Mo for Motivate.
It's very catchy. I may use that.
You should do. I hope you do. I always come up with the catchiest stuff. Mo for Motivate.
I'll give you credit for that.
Thank you. Takes the bow. I love it. So tell me something. I'm really excited about your books because, I mean, I'm also published. I've published 2 books myself. And I love people who write and who are in this mood. But your books are for entrepreneurs, for people starting businesses, for people who think they don't have what it takes. I love it. So let's tell everyone about your books.
Okay. So the story of actually writing and getting into writing books and doing stuff is explaining what I've been through, because when you go into a bumpy ride and there is not a lot of guidance, especially like I think the level of our awareness is like higher now than 5 or 7 or 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. There was a lack of mentorship, and it was a very bumpy ride. It started businesses when you don't know much and getting into a lot of problems and a lot of failures in order for you to succeed. So for me, going through that, I think it's really one of the things that I should do is to give back by telling people behind or like coming to take it or like new to the, not behind as in a level. I mean on a starting starting the process, mm-hmm. to let them know that, you know what, it's okay if you fail. It's okay if you hit that wall, because there is something right behind it.
Right.
Stuff like that. So I started elaborating that into a series of books when I called Confessions of an Entrepreneur, because I would just say the way it is, what happened with me, what did I learn, mm-hmm. And put it into perspective for entrepreneurs who just starting. Maybe, as you said, they don't know what it takes. They think it's too hard. They think it is too hard, but there is a way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially right now, people might be feeling down. They don't know what to do. They're demotivated. A lot of people have lost their jobs. So your books could really come in handy, guys at home. Mo for Motivate, check him out.
True.
Your books could actually guide and help people right now that are going through a little slump. So when did you publish the first book?
Last year, I remember one of the main reasons was actually a guy, one of my mentors. His name is John Lee. When we talked about everything that I'm doing and whatever he's doing, he's big into entrepreneurship and he's a coach for like a lot of big celebrities. One of them is like I think Bill Clinton.
Ooh la la.
So he worked with big people in the industry, and he was saying you have to write.
Oh, good for him.
I remember this very well, and he was saying whatever you go through, you have to write it because you don't know. Sometimes we undervalue what we know, and it's very valuable for other people. And I like now going through it, and I started to give back and started to coach people, I can mentor people, I can write stuff. I feel like it's too bad if you have an information that you hide it and you don't share it. It's actually bad for the community.
Right.
It's like you have to share what you know because we all undervalue what we know, and we think it's not going to be very valuable for someone else, which might be a life changing for someone else because they might take it in another way. So this is why I think I'm so into it.
I love it. So you published your first book, you got a good response from that, and then you said, hey, I'm turning this into a series. Or did you always have that in mind, or did it?
How did you get that?
I don't know, I'm more for Motivate. I'm just so motivated sitting here. I feel it.
That's
I
so
do
true.
feel things, actually.
Yeah. And just for the record, I never told her that, but
nope,
yeah.
You didn't. I know.
So
Nobody did, by the way.
So it was a very, very small ebook. It was just it was a sort of an article that I tried to turn it into. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to go.
Because I took a look at them as well. The first one was a bit smaller. The second one was bigger.
Yeah.
So I realized, I said, okay, he probably put one out there. He got a great response, and then he decided to do another. That's how I felt about it.
This is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That leading me to that because it was a response to people and they wanted to know more. And the first one was just about the entrepreneurship.
Starting a business.
And how hard it would be and how can you use the resources around and your why. When I talked about your why,
I love that. That's one of my favorite things.
It's one of the main reasons people don't put their why before anything, and it just sometimes when people burn out. From whatever they do and they feel like they're not going anywhere, the only thing that holds you down is your why.
Your why, yeah.
Because what's your goal? Like if you want to achieve something and it's so bad and that's your why, and it could be anything, it could be personal, as I remember I put that in the book and I said it could be very personal, it could be very selfish with it could be something for yourself and it could be something for the community, but it has to be so strong.
Right.
That will just it will just be the fuel. It will just keep you going.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I did the first book and people responded and I got a lot of good feedbacks, like, you know what? Now I'm going to put it into series, and then the underdogs came.
And I love the name, Confessions of an Entrepreneur.
Because it is.
I love it.
I tried to come up with something that kind of related to the content.
Just quickly, my second book is called Artist Confessions.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know you didn't know that about me either.
I didn't know that.
So I've published The Light, the Dark, and everything in between, and Artist Confessions.
See, we all have confessions that we have to. We all have confessions that we have to go out to public.
I really liked it. I was like, I like this guy. He's so good. He's so positive. He's doing so much. He's given so much back. Yeah. And then he has the books coming out, and you're working on your third one. You've got so much going on.
The third one is a doer that will be out soon. It. But the underdog is, when you mention the underdog, I always get goosebumps when it comes to underdogs.
Yeah.
Underdogs are, look, everyone at home now are underdogs. Everyone in the lockdown is underdog. The underdog is always the one that you can bid on because underdog have so much to gain and so much to win and little to lose.
Yes.
And that's what makes the pressure on the underdog a little. Underdogs think that the pressure on them are very high, but even in sport, even like in boxing or like in soccer, when you find a team, let's say the best team in the world gonna play with a team that just got to the league, right? The underdog have not everyone. Everyone understanding and everyone expecting the underdog to lose.
Right, true.
And that gives them a chance to expand and to prove them wrong. And man, underdogs are the best.
They are. I'm with you on that.
When I talk about the underdogs, I actually talk about branding, and I talk about how all these big businesses were underdogs at some point.
Right.
And they just beat the odds.
I saw that you actually have quite a few celebrities in your back pocket. I've seen you mixing with the celebs back in the day. You were big in events. Brought a few pictures to show our audience. I think we have Fat Joe. We have, who are the other guys? There's another.
Kevin Little and Oti Genesis.
Kevin Little, Oti Genesis. You were with
there are a lot more too.
And look at you looking all swag with these guys. I love it. I was like, okay. That's totally different look than he. Okay.
That's me.
I love it. The G'd up, like real gangster, you know. I love it.
That's me. That's me.
With the camouflage jacket, you know. Totally. Guys at home, totally different guy. But don't you love the way that we can just be chameleons? We come on here, we're one thing, and he still has that life, and he's a little, excuse you, he went from hanging with the celebrities, now he's a celebrity in his own light. I love it.
I'll tell you one thing. They say something very magical is when you can wear different hats. When you can wear different hats and we can speak in different languages, it's always super powerful. And I love urban fashion. I love hip hop, and I love the art, and I love the culture. I love the culture of basketball and soccer and street ball and music and street artists.
Yeah,
I love watching. I would read a book for Napoleon Hill, and I will watch a rap battle for Big and Notorious. I would do both. I mean, I love art. I love skills.
Yeah.
I love the hustle.
And talking about that difference, let's show our audience at home some of the pictures of him when he is public speaking, behind the cameras. Now he's obviously the man behind the cameras. Check that out. Look at that. Very classy, very professional. He's the one doing the talking. Obviously, you're doing a lot of motivational speaking. These are events that you're attending. I love it. This gentleman here, I think, is the one you were saying that was your mentor.
John Lee, I met him a few times. He mentored me in a lot of things when it comes to personal branding and business branding.
Look at you, all the cameras chasing you. I love it. They're like, Momo. But yeah, John Lee, so he's your actual mentor. And you know how good of you to come on here and say that, to say like, hey guys, I looked up to this gentleman. He encouraged me. He inspired me. And because of him, I'm doing this. Exactly. A lot of people don't give people credit. So kudos to you.
That's bad, because I give everyone credit, even the authors of the books that I never met or they don't even exist now. I mean, everyone put a brick on to give you a brick, to pass you a brick to build your wall. You have to give credit for.
Right.
Look, mentorship, and it's a real thing.
Right.
And I remember watching people on Instagram and YouTube 7-8 years ago when they started doing this mentorship, like this Instagram motivational pages, and I used to connect with them. With some of them are so big now.
Oh wow!
And I used to connect with them because I understood the value that they were trying to give. John Lee is not the only mentor, but he's one of the ones that I worked with very close. But I would also name a lot of other people, like especially that Dubai now brings a lot of public speakers.
In fact, I want to see, I have a nice picture of you as a public speaker, because today's show is about you. So let's get back to it. Let me see him there. Check him out. Look at him on stage. I love it. It says, how being an entrepreneur became the new cool thing. Do you agree? I love this. Tell me a little bit about that. That was at the Disutani. I can see it clearly, but I really love seeing you up on stage there. Tell us a little bit about that and give our audience a super positive message right now.
So talking about this, that was even before the crash and the pandemic. Everyone was trying to, everyone tried to jump on things when it looks cool, not knowing maybe the difficulties of it, and understanding the pros and cons of anything is always the key to succeed. And everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to have this CEO on social media, which is okay, cool. I'm not against it at all. I'm always supporting the youngest. I'm always supporting the underdog.
No, I love your honesty.
Yeah, but you need to understand what comes with the package. I mean, don't shy away when the storm hit.
Right.
Don't try, because
Right.
entrepreneurship, well, you think it's a cool thing, then ask yourself why. And you need to you need to criticize yourself before people criticize you.
Right, right.
Sit down at home, but I do this every day. I swear to God, I did this last night. Not just to talk about it today, but I do it like very often, that I have a piece of paper and I write down my goals and what I want to do and what I'm at, and I just like start criticizing myself positively, you know? Like
Totally agree.
like when I see things, they say, I don't wish for things, I expect them. There is a different mindset when you say this, because when you wish for things, when you hope for it, you make it like unreachable, but you need to expect it.
Right.
Work for it. Like what I want to do. I want to do blah, blah, blah. I write it down, 1, 2, 3, and then how I'm going to do it, then apply it.
Amazing.
It's just as simple as that.
Amazing. Amazing. Mo, it's time for us to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more of me and Mo in just a minute. And we are back. I am Angela GEGG. You're watching Angie live at 5 in Dubai, right here on VUUZLE TV. I'm joined in the studios with Mo for Motivate. I'm going to patent that. You know, you have to give me the credit so that, you know,
I
Mo.
will definitely. You're the first one who said it. It's amazing.
This is brilliant.
And it flows. It flows right.
Brilliant. Mo for Motivate.
It just flows right. More motivator.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys at home, if you guys are watching, then you know that my show is not my show if we didn't have some fun with my guests. And that means we're down to my favorite part of the show, trivia time. So, hi.
Oh, wow.
We're going to have a little bit of fun, Mo.
Okay.
Motivate.
Okay.
Okay, so it's trivia time on the show today. This is a thing that lets our viewers, aside from what you're doing, the positive aspect, people get to know you. A little more personal stuff, you know, fun stuff.
Okay.
You know, are you ready to play?
Let's try to do this.
Okay, I need you to answer fast. We're going to ask all kinds of questions.
Wow.
Fast. Fast, 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 okay?
I'll try my best.
Which of your female friends is the prettiest?
My wife.
Oh, mashallah. God, oh, we love you, wifey. Oh, but
That
she's your wife, she's not your friend, but still, I love it.
That came out fast.
I love it, I love it, I love it. Of your friends, whose house would you find the following? A half-empty bar.
My friends?
Yeah.
Not quite a lot of them.
None? Okay.
Yeah.
A mirror on the ceiling. Be honest. Not diplomatic.
Balu.
Balu, okay. A mirror on the ceiling. Balu. Oh, Zatar in the fridge.
Nader.
Nader. Okay, a lot of sequins in the closet. Like sequins dresses, sequins shoes, sequins pants. It's like fabulous.
That could be Balu as well.
Balu as well. Okay, a fish tank.
My sister's house will always have one.
Oh, I love it, sister's house. Lots of romantic candles.
That's a lot in my house too.
Your house? Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. All right. I was just going to say, give me 4 of your favorite objects in your house. Candles can't be one because we just talked about it. Your 4 favorite objects at home.
Objects.
Yeah, like
Wow.
things you have in the house. Like you have like a favorite statue.
I always really connect with my couch and the big TV.
Oh, yeah, that works.
I spend time with watching a lot of things on YouTube and that. My desk for sure.
Okay.
My 2 screens.
I love it.
I feel like I get in my zone when I get in there. You said 5?
4. One more.
4?
So we have the big couch, the TV, and your desk.
My balcony.
Oh, I love it. Get
Yeah.
back to nature,
Yeah.
which is really important right now.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, I do that very late at night when I meditate.
Super. Okay.
I do that. I like to meditate outdoor more than indoor.
Yeah.
Something different about it.
Very good. Celebrity crush.
When I was growing up, it would be Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys. I got it. I love it. What's your wildest fantasy?
My wildest fantasy?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Wow, you hitting me with the big questions.
It's trivia. It's trivia. You know, we gotta have a little fun. Your wildest fantasy. Take it away.
Take it away. My wildest fantasy will actually be like in a ship trip or like in a boat trip.
Oh, nice.
Like really disconnected with my special one for like a very long time, like a
love
week.
it.
I would take it for a month
Woo!
if I want to.
Woo,
Yeah.
I love it. You
Yeah.
see, his answers are good. Okay, if you were commissioned to write a biography on Will Smith, what would you call it?
Just a title? Idol.
Idol. I love it. That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Patent that.
I
Patent
love
that.
I love Will Smith. I love Will Smith.
Ariana Grande. You're not a fan.
I'm not a fan, but I love her hustle. I would say bestseller.
Okay,
I will
love
say her
it.
as a bestseller, and
I love it.
she knows how to sell.
Yes, absolutely. What about Drake?
Very talented. I would call him the talented.
Talented. Ooh, another patent.
Yeah, I would call him the talented.
And what about Tony Stark?
Oh, Tony Stark. Oh, we're right here. Look, he's like God. He's like God on TV.
Oh, I love it. Yes, I
He's
love
like
it. I
he's
love
like
it.
TV God. I would call him.
Okay, fast. Best actor, Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt.
Will Smith or Martin Lawrence?
Will Smith.
Ooh, favorite movie?
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Ooh la la. Favorite food?
Italian.
Ooh, favorite tree? I know it's random. Favorite tree?
My favorite tree.
Yeah.
Well, I love banana trees.
Banana tree? Okay,
Yeah,
no, that's
I
great.
love banana trees.
I love it. I love it.
I love the big leaves of it.
Favorite human?
Favorite human? My little brother.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Get to know Mo.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, that's it. I'm not going to harass you anymore with my
That's okay.
trivia. Trivia
That-
is one of my
that was
favorite parts
amazing.
of the show.
That was amazing.
I have a lot of fun with my guests.
It made my brain go places. It's amazing. It made my brain go places.
Cool.
It's amazing. It's fantastic.
I love that you love it.
Yeah.
Now, you told me you have a little surprise for my viewers. What's this?
Well, I was about to only give away a few books for a few viewers, but maybe we'll spice it up more and make a one-on-one Zoom call on coaching for for a selective one that she will tell you more about it.
Yes, guys. So you guys know if you've been watching, we have the giveaways. You got to go to the website. Of course, it'll be uploaded tomorrow. You guys will get a one-on-one coaching session. You have to enter to win. Hello, and his books. Okay? Okay? Okay?
Got you. Let's do this. Let's do this, guys.
I love it. I love it. Any special hellos to anyone because we are winding down. It's that time of the day.
Well, I would say thank you for everyone who believed in me at any level of my life. For all the ones who said you can do it, it's too hard, because I made both and I know them both. but they were the ones who always said you can do it, whatever. There is someone who told me you can be whoever you want to be, and things like that will always change a lot of my life. So. A special thanks for everyone who believed in me and everyone who will always push it with me. And yeah.
I love it. I love it, guys.
Thank you guys for taking a chance to watch this.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone taking a time of his day to watch something that he thinks is going to add to his life, that's amazing.
I love
that's
it.
amazing. I'm so grateful for it.
Oh, well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. That is all the time we have for today. You guys know what time it is. It's shout out time. A very happy birthday to Palak. Let me see you here, baby girl. You know I got to give you a little credit, a little props. Let me put that picture up on the screen of Palak. Okay, little sis in your Game of Thrones chair. Happy birthday to you. I have another very special birthday greeting going out to Fouda. There he is with his sister Judy. I love this. Siblings happening here today. Lots of love here on the Angie Show. I got to send special shout outs to my friend Anita. Of course, to everybody watching, to the Belizean Arts Gallery in San Pedro and Burgers Key on La Isla Bonita. We have Lindsay and Alejandra. We have Chantal in Abu Dhabi, and we have all of the Etihad crew. Guys, so much. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, you guys know what to do. If you'd like to send me your birthday requests, send me your shout-outs, you know where to find me. Find me at GEGG@VUUZLElive.com. You can drop me an email, send the requests, send the pictures, and of course, I'm happy to feature them on my show. Of course, for everybody watching in New York, Vegas, Denver, Chicago, Costa Rica, Belize, the entire Central, South, and Latin America, you guys rock. Of course, especially those of you right here in the United Arab Emirates, we love you, Dubai. Guys, it is that time of day. A very big thank you to my team behind the scenes here at VUUZLE TV. See you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. For VUUZLE, I am Angela GEGG.